because we are going fishing. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about live electronics. I gotcha. But you know what? There is nothing traditional about electronics in fishing. Oh, and now you are going to continue to fish as a tournament angler, correct?
I am till the boys run me out for not requalifying what we've ever experienced in the past in our space. So, we're moving the needle in showing professional bass fishing. That's what it's about. We grew up, fishing for five. There's a lot of fun in that format.
Well, get those life vest sifting clips, strap down those rods, and stow away those tackle bags because we are going fishing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bass to Anglers podcast. I'm your host, Keith Nicewanger, and I hope this episode finds you with 5 for 25 in your live well. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about live electronics. I know it's one of those things that everybody talks about, but I've been doing a lot of thinking about this lately. Here's a sonar device that literally allows us to see bass that are on offshore cover that we wouldn't even know existed if it was not for live electronics. What? I could see that cover using traditional 2D electronics? I gotcha. I finally gotcha. I hear that complaint. That you can find the same spots using traditional 2D electronics. You don't need live electronics. I hear that traditional electronics argument. It's been made many times. But you know what? There is nothing traditional about any kind of electronics in fishing. Your liquid crystal graph, your paper graph, heck, even your old-timey flashers. Don't worry, youngsters, that's what we used to call those devices. They were called flashers. But there is nothing traditional about electronics in fishing. Your trolling motor, your power poles, your hydro wave, there is nothing traditional about these things. But they all make our fishing experience better. And live electronics allow me to watch fish react to my lures in real time. And I like that. Professional bass fishing has always embraced technology, and live electronics makes fishing better. Prove me wrong. Special thanks to our partners who make this podcast possible. Bassco Fishing is the official wardrobe sponsor of the Bass to Anglers podcast. Today, I am wearing the Spongy Splatter SPF 30 hooded sun shirt. Be sure to check out all the colors and all the styles by going to basscofishing.com. Of course, you know by now we are the Western representatives for Duckett Fishing, pro-driven rods, reels, and baits. You know these guys. The strongest pro staff in all professional fishing. It's all the ingenuity. It's all the time on the water. It's the experience that goes into all the products that Duckett produces. Duckett's building a Western presence, and if you haven't seen it yet, you soon will. New independent dealerships are popping up all the time. Check out the pro-driven products from Duckett Fishing by going to their website, duckettfishing.com. There's been a lot of speculation in the bass fishing world recently about changes announced by Major League Fishing. Really, it's just a lot of gossip. Somebody has a theory, they throw it out there, and it gets talked about. It's really quite easy to get caught up in the gossip game, but I thought it would be good to go directly to the source. And today we have Major League Fishing CEO Boyd Duckett on the podcast so that we can finally get to the bottom of these rumors. But first, if you like the content we produce on this channel, please hit the subscribe button and like this video. Share this video with a friend. Share this video with a fishing buddy. Share this video with your next door neighbor. Share this video with your enemy. But share this video with somebody. Really need you to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and do that right now. I'll play a little guitar for you while you're doing it. Thank you very much. We are building our viewership, and your subscription means a lot to us. We'd also like to hear from you. Please drop us a comment. Let us know what you think about our content. Let us know if you want to see more. Let us know if you want to see less. Let us know if you want a new host. But let us know. Drop us a comment. I don't know about that host thing. Our guest today is a Bassmaster Classic champion, having won that event in 2007. He is one of the founding members of Major League Fishing, and he was recently named CEO of that organization. Boyd Duckett, welcome back to the Bass to Anglers podcast. Thanks for being with us today.
Yes, sir, Keith. Good to be here, man.
Now, you've recently taken on a new position with Major League Fishing for 2023, CEO. How does that new position differ from what you did in the past, or is it just a name?
It's not actually really. I've been CEO of the parent company, MLFLW, for quite some time, so nothing's really changed from a work scope perspective. Jim Wilburn, who had served as our president, is stepping back. He's going to work about 50% of the time. I have spent this year making a tremendous number of changes at Major League Fishing. A lot of positive changes, just blended. We sort of operated. I completed the purchase of FLW in the fall of 19. So 20 was our first season. We went through COVID. We've kind of run around with our hair on fire for 4 years. So one of the things that I was focused on this year was blending the two companies into one single entity as Major League Fishing. And with that came a restructure in personnel and reports, and just tried to organize, as you saw in the press release. Our corporate office will be in Benton, Kentucky. That's our biggest operation now with all the tournaments that we run. And so we'll run everything out of Benton, just trying to make it all work, man. You know how it is to run a business. It's a constant battle. So, but realistically, taking on the role as president is not it's the same, really the same deal now. Kathy Fennell was promoted to executive vice president of operations for the whole company. The bigger change is we have one company now, where we kind of had two companies. So that's the bigger thing. And then the integration of all the staff and all employees, that's been a lot of the big changes.
Oh, and now you are going to continue to fish as a tournament angler, correct?
I am till the boys run me out for not requalifying. It's the part of my life that I enjoy the most. But I say that, but I won't stop working and creating stuff, so I don't give myself a chance to fish much anymore. But I'll be in it till I don't make the cut, I guess.
Boyd, what I have always liked about Major League Fishing is that I felt that it was very unique. It started by anglers, yourself and Gary and others that got involved in all this. And I think the fact that you're a CEO and a competitor gives you a really unique advantage of being able to see things from the perspective of anglers. I don't see that in other tournament organizations. I feel like it's kind of a corporately run thing. And I this is what I like about Major League Fishing. I feel like the anglers are right in the middle of it.
Yeah, one of the things, and that's not new. Obviously, the ownership, the fundamental ownership is 50% KSE, Cronky Sports and Entertainment, and 50% the angler group. Okay, so we've always, we being the angler side, depends on what hat I have on today, but we've always been greatly involved. But yes, the anglers and the benefit of the anglers is in every meeting. It's in every conversation. We do have a business to run. We have the accountability of revenue of expenses not exceeding revenue. Right. We got those
Right.
basic principles, but the motivation back in 2010 for me to spend as much time and energy, time specifically, in trying to build this company as Major League Fishing was for the benefit of professional anglers. It's not it's not a profit business for me. It's not something that I have other endeavors that I work in to make a living, and so my pure motivation and the time and energy is to, man, all the things we've done to expand professional fishing, to reach a new audience, the airtime, the networks we're on, the products that we put out there. Our media is more than double what we've ever experienced in the past in our space. So, we're moving the needle in showing professional bass fishing. That's what it's about for me. So, yeah, if we ever became a huge success, it's because professional fishing's in a better place, and our pro anglers have more opportunity and quite honestly make more money than they ever have in the past. That's the goal. And that's what we work towards every day.
And of course, there are big changes for 2023. The big buzz about the format change for the Bass Pro Tour, going to a 5-fish limit, moving away from the every fish counts format. Can you talk a little bit about the process that led to that decision?
Yeah, that's been something. Of course, when you go back in the history of Major League Fishing, the every fish counts format's fun and exciting. We did the cups for all the way for 8 years under that format. Expanded into Bass Pro Tour. It was really well received. We have a tremendous audience that loves to watch it. But it also, when you take the 80 top pros and you take them away from, if they never do what everybody else does, it creates some distance. So at the request of our fans, not really so much the anglers would just want to produce the best product they can and have the best ratings, and which produces sponsorship money, which allows us to make a living in the sport, right? So, but we had a large number of our fans that have asked us for a couple of years, can you do, because they love every fish counts, but they miss the 5-fish limits. So can you do both? That's really what they came to us. So we heard that over a long time period, went out to the marketplace, went to our fans specifically that are, our diehard Major League Fishing watchers, and we ran a poll to verify that. So where we ended up, a little over half of our programming will still be every fish counts, and then about half of our programming will be a 5-fish limit. The anglers are excited about it because we like both, especially us old guys. We grew up, fishing for 5. There's a lot of fun in that format. We also love the amped up competition that every fish counts create. So we're going to do both. We're going to do about half and half, and hopefully our fans will enjoy seeing us do both. That was the whole point.
Wardrobe for the Bass True Anglers podcast is brought to you by Basco Fishing. High-performance fishing apparel that can be customized to fit your needs. Do you need to showcase your brand? Does your business need apparel? Do you need a tournament jersey? Visit their website at www.bascofishing.com. Well, there will still be, if I'm correct, there will still be periods, right? And there'll still be cut lines and things like that.
The key components that separate us from anything we've ever done, probably the single biggest key component to what Major League Fishing has been since the beginning, is real-time leaderboard and real-time scoring. I mean, that's the game changer. Everything else is, we can fish for 5 or 7 or all of them, or all those potential changes, but real-time scoring won't change. Our officials will still be in the boat. We'll still catch, wind, release. The Major League Fishing score tracker system will just auto cull, and so nothing other than we'll continue to weigh them, but only 5 will count. So that portion of it changes, but the rest of the game stays identical to what you know.
Still 2 minutes if you drop one on the deck, right?
Still 2 minutes if you drop one on the deck. All that, yeah, you got it.
Now, there's been some changes to the pro circuit as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, there has. So that's that was driven by really the sponsorship from our endemic industry. In the bass fishing business, we're still about, I don't know, we're probably close to 50% revenue in non-endemic and about 50% in endemic revenue. Don't know how that fits, with everybody else today, but our endemic, which has always supported professional bass fishing, it was really stressful on our space to try to support 3 professional tours. With the Elite Series, Bass Pro Tour, and FLW Tour, that's a lot. Yeah. It's more than our space really can support. What happens is it's bad for all the pros. And of course, I told you at the beginning of this podcast, it's always been my goal to move the needle positive for professional fishing. That doesn't mean you can do it for everybody. You could, but those that do qualify and are part of it, we want it to be the best it can be in the space. So it was a bigger result to that. So really, the invitationals are exactly what they are. It's interesting because that format, it's almost like a qualifying series, but it pays really, really good. It's really a different deal, but it's designed to be a high pay qualifying series for the Bass Pro Tour. It's exactly what it is. So, yeah, but it fits better. It fits our space. Our sponsors are happier and makes it work.
And of course, the other levels are still in. You have levels from high school through college, BFL, Toyota Series. Although, there is a slot for everybody.
There is. It's interesting. I was looking at some data as we prepared for the new year. Of course, we'll run about 260 bass tournaments this year in 23, and last year we had over 24,000 unique participants. Uniques.
Wow,
that's a lot of people that fish under our umbrella. So yeah, we're by multiples the largest in the tournament business. By whatever number of times that is. Yeah.
Boy, it seems like every year on every tour there are pros that go and leave, and it seems that it's just part of the way bass fishing tours are. This year, the Bass Pro Tour has lost some pros because of their performance, and has lost a few others who have gone for other reasons. What do you feel is the health of the tour? Is it as strong as it's been? Do you feel like it's where you want it to be?
Well, it's never where you want it to be. I'd like our guys to get paid at a PGA Tour level or something along those lines.
Yes.
And there's a lot of work to get there. And really, quite frankly, what that takes. The reason the PGA Tour pays big money is because it has big audiences, which has media value for sponsorship. You've got to deliver the impressions. That's how the TV world works. Or live stream, you have to deliver the impressions to satisfy, especially non-endemics. So as we continue to traverse all of the possibilities of different forms of programming and different networks. It's just a slow and gradual build for the purpose of creating revenue to make it possible for our pros to make that kind of money. So that's what it's about.
And you kind of alluded to this earlier, but the initial period of time for the Bass Pro Tour, especially, has elapsed now. It is in a rotational part of its growth. We're seeing some familiar names that are not requalifying. I think I read that Shaw is going to go back right to the step down the pro circuit. He wants to get the invitationals. He wants to qualify for it again, which is good. But you've now had 2 new classes of rookies come in, and you got to be satisfied with what you're seeing. These are some really good fishermen.
Man, I'm telling you, that evolution of our sport, has never changed. It's what it ought to be. We have 10 new guys that come in every year. So we have the top 10 in the points out of the invitationals earn a berth. And those are the 10 best that are at that level. And when you watch, last year's and this year's and the success that these new guys are coming, I mean, they're blazing the trail. They're making their way. The Kevin Van Dams are being, pushed by the Jacob Wheelers and the Dustin Canals. And, it's the process, right?
Yeah.
Same way that Kevin pushed on Denny and Tommy and those, it's
right.
what we've lived, it's sports, right?
Yep. Yes.
So that part's cool.
Absolutely. One more question back to the format change in the BPT. Did you bring anglers in to talk about what they thought would be right, or how did that conversation all work out?
As far as the
in establishing the new format, the 5 fish, I mean, is there an angler, I don't know, an angler group that was part of that process?
Absolutely. So about 4 years ago now, there's a group of us that work to establish the Major League Fishing Anglers Association. All the anglers are members of that association, and they have an elected board that cycles I think it's on a 3-year period. I was trying to remember from memory. It might be a 2-year period, but basically there's 8 board members that represent 10 guys each. And we interact with that angler board. They don't know how much work they're signing up for when they get in it, because I interact with them about everything angler related. Yeah. Now, it may or may not go the way they want it because of the business side. So I try to bring to the table, here's our components, here's what we need to accomplish. But all of these items that don't really matter to the league, how the payout's designed, how much you pay per place, when we start, what we fish for, all of those things that directly affect the anglers, that don't affect our television product, our final product, those are all angler choices. Our angler board makes all these choices. We would never make a change like this without the support of the angler board and their constituency. And then if we're uncertain, we go to an all angler vote. We do that often. So we interact with them. A lot of times I'll send out polls for angler opinion. I separate that so it's clearly not a vote, it's an opinion.
Yeah.
Because I always want to know what the majority of our pros think about these changes. Then if we get down to not sure, we do our best. I always like an overwhelming majority. I hate to make changes unless, you want 70, 80% of your guys to be on board. So I shy away from those close items. But anything that is overwhelmingly asked for by the anglers, we work as hard as we can to put that in place.
Boyd, thanks for giving us that insight. I don't know where else I could go, or anybody could really go, to get that kind of inside look at what the whole process. Well, I really appreciate that, and I know the people that watch this will appreciate this. Well, Boyd, I appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. I know that you are very busy, and I just very thankful that you're willing to come in and talk about the things. And I don't think I've ever asked you a question that you've ducked. You always answer them straight on, and I appreciate that.
Man, I'm not a very secretive person, and I always try to. There's no question that I'm ashamed to answer, and I always just try to tell you like it is. Everybody doesn't want to hear it, but you got to tell it like it is because I can't change how it is. So I might as well tell you like it is.
That's absolutely right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. In recent years, I find myself being drawn to Major League Fishing. I feel like Major League Fishing is unique because the organization was founded by anglers. Now, we can go back all the way back to 2005, and it was a very different bass fishing world at that point. Yeah, we have a lot of the same pros that are still in the game today, but these were anglers that were not able to get airtime for their sponsors the way they are today. And it was a very frustrating situation. As an angler, you supplement your income. Well, it is your income, your sponsor dollars. And they couldn't get the TV time. They couldn't get the time in front of cameras back in those days. And it was very frustrating. It led to the formation. Well, there was a union movement for bass fishing back in those days. And as time has gone on, that it just didn't get a whole lot better. Anglers always were looking for more ways to create exposure for their sponsors. And when Major League Fishing was founded, I thought it was exciting because here's an organization that was founded by anglers that were fishing in the same events and who had real ownership over their own league. I thought that was and I still do think that it's a very important thing. So many of the organizations over the course of history have been run by corporate types. And you can understand why. There's big money involved in this. And you're going to find that the big corporate types are going to be separated more and more and more from the anglers. I mean, that's really who I care about in the sport are the anglers. And, when you have an organization that is run by corporate officials, it's just naturally going to take away from that perspective of the angler. Listen to what Boyd Duckett says in this interview. Go back and listen to it. He's not hiding anything. Major League Fishing continues to evolve. It reminds me of a saying that my coach used to say back in high school. He used to say, there is no such thing as staying the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. Major League Fishing has made some changes this year in their format. It's for the better. It's for the better. It's what the fans want. The anglers are happy. It's for the better. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Bass to Anglers podcast. Thanks for tuning in once again. Until next time, keep both hands on the wheel. Keep those life vests zipped and clipped. Be safe, and we'll talk to you again very soon.